Hey, it's July 27th, starting a video. Just had a comment that made me think that I should start a video. I was talking about solvency, that I've had a hard time providing for myself, so thinking about providing for a child has not been something that I've thought about. And then I suggested you could talk to Paul Drinan or Kevin Stein, uh, because neither SAP would apply. So it's been a day or so since I found out from the doctor a couple of options to stop me having a hole in my bucket, bleeding. I don't really know which word to use. Atrociously with myself. Alarmingly. A whole lot of blood. 11, 12-day period. It's dwindled off today, thankfully. I just can't imagine I just do this day after day after day. But I got to go to the doctor, did a blood count. I'm just a little bit anemic, I think. I think normal red blood cell count is 34 and mine's 33. So I'm still good enough, I imagine. And let's see. Yes, the surgery didn't take. So I've had 2 surgeries this year. Endometrial polyp, discovered a fibroid, removed 5-centimeter fibroid during the endometrial polyp surgery, and then cased it out with a sonogram to determine to have another surgery, removed another 5 centimeters. It's not happy, or something's not happy about my period. It's not happy. So we're thinking the problem is structural. You can put a chemical, you can put a pill on that. My research has discerned that the pill to stop the bleeding and move me into menopause faster is also a chemotherapy drug. It's a cancer drug, and it robs the marrow of your bone. It robs bone density, and I'm a person who has worked hard to have bone density. Impact exercises, they build bone density. I used to be a runner, quite a lot of running. I go to the gym, you know, I've done things to have provision to be healthy. And robbing bone density is not, as to me, is setting me up for a problem later, which is, you know, a lot of people, you know, when they get older and they fall, they like break a hip or something. And so I didn't like that idea. Also that it's a bit of a patch. In the sense that even when you reach menopause, you can still have bleeding. So your fibroids and whatnot. That's my understanding. So I didn't like the idea of about a 7-week recovery from a hysterectomy. Because I'm an active person. However, after being beaten down for a nearly 12-day period of losing atrocious amounts of blood and questioning how much do I have to give, biting the bullet of taking 7 weeks off of a recovery, of not lifting weights over 15 pounds, etc., and going easy, I'm like, you know what? I've taken the last week off because of going to the gym, because I take 3 showers, if not more, before I leave the house at 10 a.m. And I can't get out the house without taking another shower and sometimes putting on another pair of clothes. So yeah, going to the gym was kind of like, well, we're just technically now we're going on vacation. We're not working out right now. It's you know, not a comfortable asset. And let's see. I have a lot of peace. I have a lot of peace after parsing the stigma. The stigma of hysterectomy is definitive. It's not been a part of my well-being. It's not something I've had to consider alongside to consider having kids or not having kids, but the act of removing the organ is definitive. It's a definitive gesture. And so there is this solitude of self that you need, I feel, for me, that you need to seek to come to equanimity about your decision and what it means and what it doesn't mean, and processing the emotion. So suddenly I'm put on the line of being definitive. I cannot birth a child without an organ. Does that, for me, it made me go back and question whether I'm playing my cards right. Did I play my cards right? Well, my cards are indicative of a single person who is not able to maintain solvency in and of herself among Jack Doffs to Two Toft. Me having minnow is a big deal. I thought well and long before I got my second dog that I felt I could have sustainable stewardship. I'm not talking about a palatial spread to go on vacation ever. I'm talking about, at the very least, understanding the laid doft of the land and the artificial hyphenated hand, that can I have stability? And if I feel I can have stability, then I can trust that I could be a good steward for my dog. Minnow is my totem animal. Hey, Minnow. Hi, Minnow. You're my totem animal for good stewardship, which is innocence and reflection. And let's see. So there was no I'm parsing, did I play my cards right? But there was no sustainability to be had or to be had, okay, among the land thiefend. So I'm doing my best, and you can see what it gets me. I get to bleed out. Among other things. So remove the nostalgia. Did I play my cards right? The cards are what they are, and the cards are I would never have solvency for myself. To hand DOFF, wealth, THD. So considering that I'm holding my line, that says something. It stays as saying something. It's an ID. It stayed. EID. EY. EID. Oath and feast with my feet. And that's the best I can give. Because I don't want to pass jacked off thiefend on my own kids. And but I don't want to experience duress by the job-BS site thiefend, because I hold my line that I should not be sustainable and anything related to me should not be sustainable. So I have a dog and I know what it means to me. On the parsing line of making a decision of getting rid of an organ that has a stigma attached nostalgically, it's definitive. I will not carry the organ to birth kids. And it causes me to go back and at this point and get square with my emotions to question, did I play my cards right? Cards are what they are. I did my best, and I am doing my best, and it, in all its no-name uh, uh, lack of significance, is utterly significant, and I know that. Uh, I should be glad of that. I'm not. It's not that I feel indifferent. I just don't really sit sequestered with, oh, I am glad of that. Look at me. I'm glad of that. Not that way. Um, Back to the hysterectomy. The stigma is you can't have kids. It seems to be that hysterectomies are more common than I thought, as are fibroids and endometrial polyps and endometriosis and these blood-related things with this organ in women. And uh, I do find it significant to be able to talk to someone about it. My last client, I'm getting, and ultimately, it came down to my last question I wanted her to answer was, after we talk about the recovery, etc., the emotions about making the decision, the economics, the how do I fit it into my life schedule, etc. My last question that I most definitely wanted to know was, would you do it again? And she said she would, and she would have done it faster. And that's what I really wanted to know. And I did spend the time parsing, if I need hope. Okay, I'm talking about the hope you live in your head. I have the organ, I could have kids. When I don't have the organ, the info in my head, hey Minnow, says, I can't have, you see that I put a little paw on me. Do you need some love? Do you need some love now, Minnow? It is time for some love. Lay some hands on me. You put a paw on my shoulder and give you love. It's kind of like a coin slot. Boom. Minnow is significant in knowing what he wants and engineering the positioning. He's very good at that, and he is also very good at nonverbal language. I know exactly what you mean. You see this hand here? You're like, I got some work for you. I notice you're not doing that, moving that hand where I like it. Okay, so let's see. Honestly, I'm pretty excited about having. I get there's gravity, there's seriousness in having an organ removed, but I get to keep my ovaries, which means, especially talking to the last person here, that it's going to keep my skin nice. I guess it has to do with hormone flow, meaning I don't have to put any chemicals to replace that. Not into having a whole list of drugs. They make me feel like I'm falling into the geriatric tunnel of just pile some more on because I already have some, kind of like brown spots, I know you're going to collect more. I would rather kind of keep maintenance, because you get a ding on your car, you don't fix it, you get more dings, because you depreciate the value by just letting that ding. So, hi. You would like some more? Would you like some more? Would you mind if I held you? Yes, you would. It's not want to be held. I'm not a lap dog. I am Mino. Hi. Good job. go odd job, you, B-U, minnow, B-U-M, minnow. B-U-M, minnow, B-U-M, minnow, knob, N-O-B. Let's see. So I'm feeling peace. I'm feeling peace that, yes, let's do this. Let's, you know, I've got my iron back, so let's not fizzle out on that. What else? The other way to parse hope without an organ, if I want to play with the figment in my head of thinking I could have children, is that I read online that you can harvest eggs. You can still harvest eggs. The odds are the same whether I have an organ that is bleeding out or not, meaning my age and equals egg production and dwindling supposedly as you get older. So the odds don't change in terms of eggs, egg harvesting, and then the only thing else would be if I wanted my own children, my own egg would be having the money to do that, as with the desire. So ironically, that parses hope for me as a possible way forward and a contingency, but the other hard reality that is not parlaying in that figment of imagination is I still don't get paid for being thoughtful even. So it's interesting that I'd be willing to entertain that would still be parsable. It is parsable in the sense that I'm still here and I'm still striving to give in significance and to openly dow with it, endow with it. So, yeah. The other incentive is apparently I've already met my out of pocket, so getting getting the surgery this year is ideal. Financially also. Don't have to jump through more hoops, etc. Just doing it. It's an added layer of incentive, but honestly, understanding what my options are to bleed like it's nobody's fucking business or rectify it. I would actually rather rectify it sooner rather than humping around with fiddling options later. If the video froze, there was quotation marks around that. The illusion of I'm doing something by fiddling. I think my implication when speaking with the doctor is we have fiddled. We have done an endometrial surgery and a fibroid. We have fiddled. We've given fiddling options. And I don't mind being definitive. I'm pretty happy about, you know, what are you doing? You're on the notes. I'm pretty I'm fine with being definitive, and I feel happy. I feel good about understanding I needed that little space of grace to go back and forth and parse nostalgia and be like, and shunt it. It's not a player here. Nostalgia isn't a player. Did I play my cards right? There wasn't anyone to play my cards right with, okay? Bottom line. So, You're back again. I see. I see. Um, Hi. So we just go forward. That's it. All right. I think the space was important. I'm pretty happy with turning that around, getting where I needed to go and turning it around in a day and just going, you know what? I know what I want to do. I want to do the hysterectomy. I want to bite the bullet. Give me seven weeks off. Uh, Call it vacation. I'm going on vacation. Whatever. Give me the option that takes longer to heal, but is the fix for real. For the architectural, structure. You're all. Sorry, I'm chewing my words today. Structural soundness, and I don't have to worry about this again without actually being penalized of have to kind of force an early menopause and hormone replacement and stuff because my ovaries are fine. Um, Cancer isn't the problem. It's just the fibroid, endometrial polyp, and bleeding out with periods. You know, it equals a hole in my bucket. What else? Now, my irony is I still am going to strive to get my bunion surgery this year, which is ironically another 7-week recovery, which might almost be back to back. So taking 1 week off for bleeding, taking 7 weeks off for hysterectomy, being semi-active in between, going back to take another 7 weeks off, I will probably be starting over physically. And honestly, I don't even mind. Happy to share with you, starting over is what it comes down to. I don't feel shame in starting over. I don't feel shame in hard muscle getting flabby and cottage cheese-like, okay? I'm happy to show you day by day what I do and how I feel about it and how I restore faith in my vision of what I want in process. The process will get me there. To have faith in the process. So so I thought about that. I thought, shoot, if you're going to do 2 7-week recovery surgeries, where one is you can't lift 1,500 pounds and the other is basically don't freaking get out of bed and put weight on your feet, on your foot, I'm like, Angela, you're going to be starting over physically. To be physically fit, you're going to be starting over, And I'm kind of like, you understand that what that means, and are you okay with it? And yeah, I'm okay with it. I've started over more than once in my life. Okay. My concern now is it's an age thing. I would now, to recapitulate a way forward, I would rather do the surgery now, take the time off to recover, get starting over out of the way. Meaning, the sooner I get to start over, the better for my age to recapitulate what I lost physically. What I mean is, do this 10 years later, I've got 10 years older on my frame. Bouncing back, I don't think is going to be as rapid, as thorough in appealing to the go odds with the goods. Okay. uh, I have muscle memory, so that works for me. It may not be working for me with my uterus because it's the muscle that the fibroid is in. Uh, so me trying to exercise to knock back my period like I used to do as an athlete is not the same game when using my muscle and my uterus is causing it to bleed more. Okay. During my period. So it's a different dynamic. Anyway, meta. I've already started to think of what I'm going to do if I have to have time off, especially the second time for a bunion surgery where I can't be weight bearing. I'm like, okay, Angela, well, you wanted to learn how to sing and you wanted to learn another language. And that sewing, all that little hand sewing, that's going to be a perfect time for that. So among other things. So yeah, I've already kind of like, I've already lined the things up that, hey, I got plenty I can do on a downtime as well. So silly as it is, I feel psychologically sound and fortified for making this decision. And I'm happy. I'm happy in a day that I can acquiesce to a state of grace of fielding my reservations, my concerns, my nostalgia, parsing that and being, this is what we got, and I can feel good about this. I feel at peace. I feel centered. I feel grounded, and happy and fortuitous for being able to mentally, emotionally afford this to happen, in that it's the card I've got. It's something I get to deal with. A conflict of my meta or not, I do not see a way around it. And not making a decision is putting me at risk with anemia, and becoming anemic puts you at risk with other diseases because you're not carrying oxygen in your blood. To fortify the system you love and to do of, that you hand HAND parentheses LOVE D. Hand, do, oved, and handle, loved. So, it's paying attention. I have something I need to pay attention to. And what else? No, I am really happy. I'm happy about how I've been able to handle that. I knew I was kind of tripping out a little bit because yesterday I was coming back here to work on notes, and I'm like, you know what? I want to eat what I want. And then I'd be like, I'm driving, I'm like, what do I want? I'm like, I really want cake. I really want cake. I want a cake. I want a piece of cake. So I drove all the way back to Whole Foods and got their last tres leche cake, and I got a B vitamin energy drink, which is, totally a opposite. Give me some sugar, throw some energy drink on that, and call it good health. I don't know. I was not seeking health. I was thinking now. What do I want now? So I knew I was kind of tripping out a little bit because my concern was now. I want now. I want cake now. Saw the B vitamin energy drink. I'm like, I want that now too. And because the news and articulating a way forward, it involves removing an organ or parsing or fiddling to possibly then remove an organ, it kind of yanks on your emotional state. And so I'm glad I didn't stay. I'm glad I didn't spin out in terms of, oh, hope is gone. Just that's one way to spin out. The other is to start thinking geriatrically. And I probably didn't say that right. Geriatrically. If that's a word, I do not know, grammatically speaking. Start thinking like a geriatric. I'm losing an organ. Does that equal I'm going to be a geriatric? It was about thinking it through in terms of honestly reframing it. It's allowing me to fully function healthy without a hole in my bucket. So I give it its due time, its due process to heal, and I get me back for real without the distraction of having a hole in my bucket and fiddling with options of this surgery or that pill or that chemical that's going to rob me of my bone marrow, my bone density to weigh in. I'm just glad I was able to put it all together overnight. And feel good about it and feel sustainable, not feeling like this is a compromise, a compromise. I don't think it's a compromise in terms of my zeitgeist, the spirit of the time, or time. It's direct, fortified action. For what I love to do at any given time is to receive it as well. As well led, as welded. That's stepping out a little bit. I'm kind of spinning from the mask. Me ask. Me asked to be earnest. At last. Least as last. No, I'm kind of excited to have the answer to the problem of the hole in my bucket. Structurally speaking, the organ is not bad in terms of it has cancer. It's bad in how it's functioning. And I do not have the answer or the meta to make that something else. I am thankful then to have the opportunity to have skilled doctors inform me as best they can and financially be in a place to make this happen. So that's the other thing to be happy for. Both me getting my head together with what's real and addressing it for real and not feeling any less for not having an organ to birth children. not feeling any less at all. And in fact, feeling exuberantly better because I'm mandating my health. I'm taking the lead to mandate my health, to continue to be healthy. And I believe in that. I believe in that through 7 weeks of downtime, possibly followed by another 7 weeks of downtime for another surgery, knowing how that's going to set me back physically. I believe in it through that. I believe in that through any sort of adjustment phase of listening to my body, and it's like, hey, what's that? Or, hey, it's difficult walking on that foot. If I get that surgery, I expect it's going to be difficult when I start to walk on that foot. But I still believe that this is for my health. It's taking the lead for the wealth of health, of having health. And health, the head and the hand. So I feel rather exuberant about it, actually, being in a position to understand what's necessary without nostalgia. Okay, with what could have been. Did I play my card right? How am I going to carry this hope without the organ? You know, I've already saw it through, and health matters too. To be it too. To pass it on to pass so on, some, et tu. Yeah, I'm actually, it's kind of weird, but I'm kind of recovering from kind of like wham. This is a geriatric decision and options, drugs and whatever, and so much time off, and to like, no, do it now so you can start bouncing back sooner rather than later. I'm already thinking about, okay, well, it's the food you're going to have in your house. I'm going to be making a lot of amazing grass brand smoothies. Fruit, leafy greens, vitamins, all the good stuff. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be doing a smoothie. I'm going to be the smoothie queen. Hydrate, drink lots of water. Yeah. It's doable. I may get tired of smoothies, but I'm not giving myself the option to be like, well, you could have those chips or the chocolate. I might have a bag of chocolate chips, but I definitely am going smoothie route with all the live, real food. It's going to make me feel terribly good. Well, maybe I don't mean that word. Terrifically good. And I'm just going to have to sit there and take it.